Welcome to my ePortfolio Reflection video. My name is Jennifer Frost. Welcome to my office. I work currently at Sheridan College as an educational technology training and support specialist. My job is to assist our faculty with their training and support needs in regards to our LMS. I have worked in education for over 10 years, and although I do have my bachelor's in information systems and an MBA, I soon realized that I really wanted to have some educational experience behind me. I really want to stay in a college or university system, and I really have always enjoyed instructional design. I began my search looking for the best online educational technology degrees out there, and Boise State came up many times. I was so very excited to be accepted into the program, and I started in 2013. Through this video, I'm going to show you my top 3 artifacts that I completed while a student at Boise State. Join me on this EdTech journey. This is an artifact from EdTech 512, Online Course Design. This was the final project in the course, which was to build an actual online course with 5 modules. I really wanted to showcase this as an artifact because I learned so much that I was able to apply with my current job, in addition to being able to apply things that I had learned thus far in the EdTech program. This course really had scaffolding in the forefront of the learning. Every week we learned something new that we were able to bring to the next week and build an amazing course. I also was able to go back and get information from like EdTech 502 when I was designing my website to make a more user-friendly and productive environment for students. I really wanted to use instructional materials that would improve learning and performance, tying it back to standards that we are to learn here at the EdTech program, as well as learning principles and using that technology to enhance the learning for the students. This right here that we're looking at is the Google site that I created that was more of a marketing effort for the student to be able to see and just to be able to get all the information about the course that they might be enrolling in. But we'll go over here to the actual course that I created, Mindful Living. The course was created in Moodle, and I enjoy doing that at my current college that I work at. We use Desire to Learn, so this was something different, and I liked being able to experiment with a new LMS. In this course, we were required to develop everything. I had to start here, the syllabus, introductions. I had to think of forums that might be used in the class as introduction, news forums if students had questions. In addition, I had an introduction video that I did for each module, as well as I had lesson notes. There was a lot of thought that went into here because going back to what I was saying before is I had to build these. It wasn't just putting information in here. I had to actually put some thought into how this was created so it was user-friendly for the student and they were actually going to learn something. So in this example here, we're talking about meditation. So we have some examples about meditation, some reading the student would do on their own, a video that they would watch. And then here was just an idea of things you could do in the morning before your meditation. And then these were the assignments that we're going to be doing this module. So it was a quick glance for the student to see this. So this was the way that I put everything together from learning, from taking everything that I had learned, putting it all together. This was a course I came up with. And why this is one of my favorite artifacts is that I actually took all this information that I built and I transferred it over to the LMS at my college, and I've used it as an exemplar. In my job, I train faculty on our LMS, and it's really nice to be able to have a course that actually looks like a course rather than just setting something fake up. So a lot of people know of Mindful Living. They know it's my exemplar course. They know it's kind of an experimental thing. And who knows, maybe it'll turn into something that I will teach and offer one day. But this has been an amazing artifact to share with you. And I know that this really got me on the step to doing more course design, curriculum development, and putting everything together that I had learned. These artifacts are from EDTECH 502, Internet for Educators. This was by far my most favorite class in the EdTech program. What I found so beneficial about this class is that I got to learn theory on how to build materials that improve the learning, that, effective integration, sometimes assessments. But the main thing I learned is HTML and CSS. I had no background in either. I knew a couple commands in HTML. I had no clue how CSS worked when I started this class. I was a little overwhelmed at first, thinking I may not catch on, but I soon caught on to all the concepts, and I was so excited that, for example, what you're looking at right now was all hand-coded by me. And I had to go back and forth and make sure the colors were okay, that spacing was good, that the links worked, that everything matched, and everything went together well. It was exciting for me to actually design something. It's great when you write an essay and all that, that's great, but sometimes it's nice to have a visual of all the hard work you've done and everything that you put together. This was so important in my current job that I had that HTML and CSS knowledge. For the job as I was hired, you wouldn't think it would be as important as I train faculty on our LMS. It's not really my job to do the design aspect of it, but in training the faculty on the LMS to fix things, the HTML really comes in handy. And I have been able to do so many things at my job by having the knowledge that I gained through this class. So getting back to the artifacts, I just wanted to showcase two. Really, the artifact in this part of my presentation is the class itself. Every one of the artifacts was beneficial to me, but these are my two favorite ones. This one was just kind of an overview of BSU links and then some links to my learning log at the time, and then the EdTech 502. And as I was mentioning before, everything was hand-coded in here. And I also got to build the banner that you see at the top. So I was able to take a fancy font that I found, put some information behind it, as well as find a Creative Commons picture and put it all together to make an excellent visual on the site. I used fireworks for this, which we learned briefly in this class, and I was really excited to have a visual that I felt looked as professional as I could at the time. And then the other one I want to show is we did a web quest as well. What was really exciting about this class is all the different instructional materials that we learned that would help students learn in different ways. So this is based on the work of Bernie Dodge, where you would build a web quest, so kind of like a mystery is kind of how I looked at it, that the students would be learning about gluten-free living. They start here, they get a little bit of an introduction about gluten, and then there's some tasks. So they need to research and find out some of this information here. And so you're given all these different clues you can look at to go through and complete. And then we also added some teacher resources in here so the teacher could go through and know how they could use this as an instructor in the course and integrate it into their curriculum. This was one of my favorite assignments because I got to use the instructional design aspects that I had learned, as well as adding those visual components and then hand coding everything you see before you. I'm really proud of everything that I created in this class, and I have used it time and time again in my everyday life and just in the fun life of learning how to code. I really do want to take some learning outside of the EdTech program and learn HTML and CSS in more detail, and the spark was lit. This artifact is from EdTech 533, YouTube for Educators. I decided to use this artifact in my portfolio because it was one of my favorite assignments in this class and one that I felt I gained the most from. Each week in this class, we were tasked with creating a video of some sort with different parameters. And for this assignment, I was to gather all that information I had learned up until this point, as well as adding some special effects, which in this one was a green screen. So for this class, I decided to talk about my favorite Canadian authors, and using a green screen behind me, I changed give you a little preview here, I changed what was behind me as I was talking. So when I started talking about a book, you would see that book move in behind me. This was an amazing class for many reasons. First of all, on a personal note, I really enjoyed learning about YouTube videos. I'm a big YouTube watcher, and it was fun for me to see how things are created. And that's something I could possibly do in the future for fun. But I also was to take it a step further, obviously my professional life. Since I work with instructors on a day-to-day basis, I've been able to show instructors what's possible. You don't necessarily have to go as fancy as this with a green screen. You could just have the bookshelf behind you, but how you can take technology and add some instructional materials into it. For this one, for example, there's so many reasons that you could do a short video on a subject. This one talking about favorite Canadian authors, you could use something like this in a literature class or something, fiction class or something of that nature. You could really obviously talk about anything you want, but just adding that other side of instructional materials for students so there's a variety, and then you're meeting the needs of many students that maybe want to review something again. So this could be supplementation for instructors to enhance the students' learning, and then you're using effective practices to assessing students to give them more variety. I also, as a part of this assignment, had to show how I did it. So this was also great because if you had somebody who was interested in learning how I did it, I used Adobe Premiere Pro for this, and this was a how-to video of how I got the green screen to work and all of that. And then here's a picture of how I got the green screen. So you could kind of see the setup. I set here, and then I had a light on the green screen and a light on me. So this really took the step forward of adding all that information that I had learned, making sure instructional design principles were sound, in addition to creating an amazing artifact and something that I have shared with friends time and time again. If they want to know my favorite books, I have something to show them, as well as show our instructors if they're more interested in adding more interactive elements into their course. Thank you for joining me on this journey through my EdTech portfolio at Boise State University. I have immensely enjoyed my time here at BSU, and I'm so excited to take all the information I have learned and apply it to my job. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for me. Thank you again for watching.